Hi there, everybody. Welcome back to 3 News Now. I'm Stephanie Haney. Today is Friday, November 12th. Thank you for being here for the top stories from WKYC.com and our WKYC app. We start today with an incredible story involving the U.S. Marshals Office and a bank robbery that's 52 years old, finally being solved. This was an unsolved issue here in Cleveland for more than half a century, as I just said, and it was inspired by a hit Hollywood film. On Friday, July 11th, 1969, 20-year-old Ted Conrad left his job at Society National Bank that was in Public Square carrying $215,000. Now, that might not sound like a lot of money, but that's the equivalent to $1.7 million in 2021. He had it in a paper bag and he vanished. And nobody noticed that he or the money was gone until the following Monday, giving him a 2-day head start. And U.S. Marshals have now confirmed where he had been hiding, but he died in May. Now, this was all inspired by the 1968 Steve McQueen film, The Thomas Crown Affair. This was based on a bank robbery, a very rich person who had done a bank robbery for sport. And Conrad saw that movie about 6 times. He bragged to his friends about how easy it would be to take money from the bank that he worked at and how he planned to do it. And apparently, that is what he did. Conrad was a fugitive for over 50 years. He was featured on America's Most Wanted and Unsolved Mysteries. Investigators chased leads across the country, including Washington, D.C., Inglewood, California, that's near the airport in Los Angeles, Western Texas, Oregon, and Honolulu, Hawaii. And they just recently, this week, tracked down where he had been all this time. Theodore Ted Conrad had been masquerading as Thomas Randall in Lynnfield, Massachusetts, near Boston. Get this Boston suburb where he's been since 1970, that was near the location where the original The Thomas Crown Affair movie was filmed. So how did they track him down? How did they confirm that this was the person who stole that money all those years ago here in Cleveland? They matched documents that Conrad completed in the 1960s with documents that he completed under the alias Randall, including documents when he filed for bankruptcy in 2014. So apparently didn't manage that money necessarily very well. He made himself 2 years younger, used the same birthday, which was July 10th, and he did pass away in May at the real age of 71 for Conrad, died of lung cancer. You can see more details from this story on WKYC.com. Absolutely just one of those incredible stories, and the U.S. Marshals Office has now closed that investigation. Now, we're going to revisit a story that was a popular story yesterday, but it continues to be a popular story. The singer Nightbirde. She's from Zanesville. Remember her real name is Jane. Her performer name is Nightbirde. She was a singer on America's Got Talent, but she had to step away because of her treatment for cancer. And she recently posted on social media talking about miracles and how she finds herself actually in the moment that she had hoped for all her life. Here was her takeaway, that only miracles that taste sweet. If we only take the miracles that taste sweet, we'll never taste a sweet miracle. And if we wait until we have the perfect song, we'll never sing. She says, don't miss it. We are in the miracle now. And she talks about the dreams that she's had since she was little, singing to the whole world at once, telling words of hope, telling truth, sharing strength. And then she said, wait, I am in that dream right now. It's not how I wanted it, but this is the dream. I'm in it. It is happening now. She said she thought it would be sparklier than this. She said she didn't imagine standing before the world with so many bruises. She thought that she would be not suffering when she was shining in front of an audience, and that she would skip to the end of the road pain-free, that the miracle would be scar-free. But she said she did get the miracle, just not necessarily the one or the way that she wanted. And just a couple days ago, she posted that she was on her journey to singing again. That was 2 days ago she posted that. She said, day 1, and Nightbirde, we look forward to hearing you sing again. And so does the rest of the country, who are just absolutely rooting for you, absolutely wishing you the best. Now let's take a look at the latest COVID-19 numbers in from the Ohio Department of Health. In the last 24 hours, we see another rise in cases, 5,379 total. And now the Ohio Department of Health reports a total of 25,643 confirmed COVID-19 deaths. Right now, there are 2,465 people in the hospital being treated for COVID-19, and out of those people, 681 are being treated in an intensive care unit. Now we switch gears, pun not actually intended, to a story about damage to vehicles in the Avon area, or anyone who drove through the Avon area and got gas at a speedway location in Avon Lake at Walker Road and State Route 83. There are drivers who are experiencing a lot of potentially very expensive damage to their vehicles. Lots of car owners heading in for repairs after potentially contaminated gas was sold to those customers at that speedway. Now, auto repair shops have dozens of cars waiting to be fixed and hundreds more people who are inquiring about it. Mechanics are saying they believe that these people were given diesel fuel by accident, and that's indicated by gas samples having a green hue. Now, our Brandon Simmons talked with Casey Fields, who's a service advisor at Automotive Specialty Services in Avon, and he says when you see that green hue, that tells you that there's contamination, heavy oil content, which again, he says, is most likely caused by diesel fuel, where diesel fuel is not supposed to be. Now, the repair process is not simple. At the very minimum, these fuel tanks will have to be drained, fuel lines flushed, a fuel induction system cleaning, and probably spark plugs changed. But for other people, it could potentially be even worse. The longer you drive on it, the more damage it's going to cause. That's what Fields said. So he said if you know you filled up or got gas at that specific station in Avon Lake between Monday and Tuesday, get in and get your fuel at least sampled. He also said if you notice your car is stuttering, if you have acceleration issues, if it's stalling or the check engine light comes on, these could indicate that you have a problem, especially if you bought gas at that station. You do want to get it taken care of right away. Now, if you think you were affected, they say get your car towed to a repair shop immediately, and you can file a complaint with Speedway. They have a number. It's owned by 7-Eleven. That number is 1-800-643-1948. Again, that number is 1-800-643-1948. Now remember, this is expensive, so make sure you save all of your receipts and paperwork. For now, the experts are saying don't necessarily go to the Better Business Bureau or file any other complaints to give Speedway the time to fix this. They have put out that phone number for people to call and let them know if there is an issue. Speaking of issues, customer service has just been an absolute bear for people, and it's just a day doesn't go by that we don't see one of these videos all over the internet of someone being very rude in a customer service situation, a customer being rude to an employee. Now there's a Texas woman who might face criminal charges after throwing soup in a restaurant worker's face. This was on surveillance footage at a Sol de Jalisco near Dallas in Texas, and the woman can be seen complaining, according to the police, the local police, that the soup was so hot it melted the plastic lid of its container, and then she takes that soup that is so hot and throws it in the face of the worker. Now, we do know that the worker, Janelle Broland, she is okay, but this could be behind a major labor shortage. We are seeing labor shortage, especially in the service industry. AUC Berkeley found earlier this year that 8 out of 10 restaurant workers have faced hostility recently. A lot of that related to COVID-19 protocols, and more than 2/3 of the 4,000 restaurant workers surveyed felt like disrespect was a reason for labor shortages, also combined with low pay. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics found in August alone that a record 4.3 million Americans quit their jobs, and restaurant and hotel workers are quitting more than twice the national average. Let's be nicer, people. Come on. Let's be nicer, and let's try not to take our aggressions out on people who are just trying to do their jobs. Speaking of people who want to do their jobs, Odell Beckham Jr. has landed with a new team. He will be with the Los Angeles Rams, and we do know he was good friends with Cleveland Browns wide receiver Jarvis Landry. So Jarvis Landry posted on social media, he told OBJ to handle your business, and he said, meet you in the SB, brother. And what SB is obviously widely assumed to mean is the Super Bowl. Wouldn't that be great? Hey, if the Browns go to the Super Bowl, bring on the Los Angeles Rams. You know, the Super Bowl will be played in Los Angeles this year, so that could be the chance for them to meet each other again, because the Browns will not play the Los Angeles Rams in the 2021 season. Now, previously on Instagram, Landry wrote to Beckham this. He said, I pray your new chapter will be filled with all you could have ever dreamed of, because you deserve it. Train for it, got the scars to show for it, and you, God's child, I love you, brother. So obviously, no love lost between those two. Beckham and Landry grew up about 50 miles apart in Louisiana. They met in high school, and then they were playing together for 3 seasons at Louisiana State University, and then they were reunited in 2019 here in Cleveland when the Browns acquired Beckham in a trade with the New York Giants. And now Beckham's story takes him out to the West Coast to Los Angeles. I really do wish him the best, especially because we don't play the Rams this year. I like that. I like that he's not in the AFC, he's in the NFC. So go thrive, OBJ, and let the Browns continue to thrive here. Speaking of thriving, our high school football playoff game of the week is a rematch this week between Walsh Jesuit and Benedictine. And it will be one for the books because this is a rematch. The Benedictine Bengals are taking on the Walsh Jesuit Warriors. This is a rematch from Week 1, the high school playoff game of the week, with Week 1 when the Bengals won that game 35-34 in double overtime. So it was a good game. This week promises to be a good game too. They'll face off in the Division II Regional 5 semifinals. That's taking place at a neutral site in Elyria. Benedictine is seeded first in the region, and Walsh is seeded 5th in the region. Our Dave Dino DiNatale will call the game live via audio stream tonight from Eli Stadium. That'll be at 6:50 p.m. on WKYC.com, the WKYC app, and the WKYC Facebook and YouTube pages. And then highlights will be on What's Next tonight at 11 p.m., which you can catch on Channel 3. You can also stream that on WKYC.com and our WKYC app. And that does it today for this 3 News Now update and for this week on this Friday, November 12th. Everyone have a wonderful weekend. We might get a little snow this weekend, so hopefully you can find the charm in that, as it is mid-November. We knew this was coming. So hopefully you can enjoy your time this weekend, and I will see you back here on Monday with more 3 News Now.